I thought this might be worth sharing how to get yourself out of a funk. So I think I'm pretty good at getting myself out quickly. That doesn't mean these things never come. I think it's just like maybe not feeling well, or it could be forms of depression, even anxiety. The quicker you can get out of it, the better off you'll be. And I think maybe understanding that these things are going to come regardless. Awesome. These things are going to come regardless. It's really how you handle them and how you react to them. So let me give you about 5 tips. Let me do 5 tips in 5 minutes. Let's see how efficient I can be with this conversation here. So I had not rough couple days. Like, it's been a long week. We've had family visit, which has been awesome, but a little bit different, like out of our ordinary. We had our big Valentine's Day. Well, it's much more work than it looks like. Like, it takes hours to put together a couple hour visit, like prep and bags and organizing and who's coming, etc. So that takes a bit more time and effort than not doing something like that. Then we had our little guy's birthday, so we had a bunch of family and friends come over, and that was planning and food, etc. And I don't even do most of that. That's Dorothy. But it is a lot. And then I've had a couple difficult conversations which are usually emotionally draining. Not that day, but the day after, and the day after that. So from there, I woke up like a brick this morning, and I was like, kind of like where I hit snooze a couple times. Yes, I'm human. And I was like, what's going on? And I just kind of think to myself, like, what's happening, and how can I get out of this? Because yesterday I wasn't super motivated, which is odd for me. I usually wake up inspired, excited, motivated, ready to rock. And I was thinking to myself, I don't want to have another day like that. So what can I do about it? And so again, my 5 tips starts with gratitude. I don't know if that sounds cliche or overused, but that always puts me in a better mood. So I usually start off with something like very simple of, I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my son. I'm grateful for a beautiful home. And I don't mean like aesthetically, particularly warm, loving. And that just changed my mood almost instantly. And then it goes to maybe a bit more materialistic of what we have, what we've achieved. We've always wanted the vehicle that we've had. We've talked about it for years. We've always wanted our own business and shipping house and place to go to work, because I've worked in my basement. Kind of sounds funny, right? Because I've worked in my basement for years, like always worked at home. Basement. I've worked in different areas of the house, but I've always wanted an office to go to, which could be the opposite for someone else, right? That they've always had an office to go to. They've always had an office to go to, and they want to work at home. So this could be or should be different for you or each individual. But that gratitude instantly changes my mind. And that's just one thing I do. So just consider sometimes people only do gratitude, which would be a great start, but then we can level up in different areas. One of the things that puts me in a better mood is doing something nice for someone else. So I actually literally think to myself, what can I do for someone else that needs help in some way or another? And that's not necessarily like giving them money. Like it could be a compliment. It could be a hello, a good morning, how's your day going, a handwritten card, a note left on someone's door. So there's many different things that you can do, but I find often if you do something for someone else, it puts you in a better mood, which could be considered selfish. And that's particularly, in this case, why I was doing something for someone else, to make me feel better. So you can decide whether you think that is morally just or not. The third thing I like to do is create content, which is exactly why I'm doing this right now. I've mentioned Tim Ferriss a number of times, more particularly a while back when we talked about 30-30-30, but he's taught me lots in many different ways, and one of them was he kind of struggles with depression a little bit, and he's super successful, like a very successful entrepreneur, more money than he'll ever need. So like those materialistic things don't necessarily change his life, but one of the things that he said is one of the things that you can help with your depression is to go live every day. And then because you have a bit of a different persona, or it's a bit easier to pull yourself up or lift yourself up when it's other people are around, instead of like, I think most of us know what it's like to be depressed or in a cold, dark place, which is lonely, and it's very little action, very little motion. You're isolated. You're on your own. You could be quite literally in the dark. But you flip that around, and maybe you put a light on and a camera, and then you become someone different. Whether that's for yourself that you want to keep, or for close family members, friends, or your audience. So I know a lot of people, that's a stretch for a lot of people. You're not necessarily going to do that, but that's why I'm doing this content, because I feel like it could be helpful to others. I feel productive by creating some content that could be valuable to the people in our community. And I guess that's another one, is for me, I thrive off being productive. And if I don't feel like I'm productive, my self-worth is tied to that quite closely. Probably something I need to separate from at some point in my life, but I always want to be productive. Like yesterday, I messaged Dorothy and I was like, don't feel like I'm doing anything. What a waste of a day. And she's like, you're probably doing something. But my expectations of what should be done is probably more than, I would say, to be fair, probably more than the average person, because of how many hours I work and how hard we work. We work fast and hard. And everyone that comes into our business is like, I can't believe how much you guys get done in a day, or I can't believe how many projects you guys finish. But that's just what we do. That's what we've always done, and that's why we hit these certain growth spurts, because it's always pushing. That comes from my athletic days of, I told myself I'd always be the first to show up and the last to leave. And in most cases, like even in this building, I'm here probably an hour and a half before anyone else. And then I should start the videos then, because then these people get here and they make all the noise. For a different topic. I wrote these down for you guys. Gratitude, content, productive. Learning something. Learning something for me is important. Every day I want to learn something. So I turned on a podcast today, or a YouTube video today of something I wanted to learn. And that was 30 minutes. I usually do probably at least an hour to 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half of learning every single day. That makes me feel productive. It makes me feel like I'm absorbing, I'm progressing or evolving as a human. That's just me. That may not be you. So these were about 5 tips. There's a couple other ones that are almost non-negotiables I don't really think about, but moving your body, so getting a workout in, always makes me feel better. So I try to do that, especially when my spirits aren't lifted up. And then eating well. Like a lot of times we're not nutritionizing our body properly, so you're not don't have the nutrients, you don't have the energy from the nutrients, and you just don't have that proper that feeling, that excitement, the internal energy that food and nutrition has to offer. And the same thing with workouts, like exercise in particular. My brain just fires. Exercise is like a drug. My brain fires at a high level. Like I get most of my business ideas directly after a workout, if not during, because everything is just like flowing and moving, and motion is what we're looking for in most regards. So I went over my 5 minutes. Shoot. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if there's anything that you want to share in the comments about what makes you feel productive, or maybe one of these tips that you're going to start doing on the days that you may not necessarily have the best particular day. And that's okay. Everyone has really good days. Everyone has not so good days. That's called being human. So give yourself some space. Allow for that. Allow for those emotions. And then if you want, if you choose differently. For me, today my mindset was I like to move fast and work hard and feel productive. And that's when I personally feel the best me, which could be very different for you. So I would suggest writing yourself a list, being very clear and intentional of what makes you your best every single day, and stack those days from weeks or days, weeks, months, years, and then I don't see how you couldn't achieve everything you set out to. Have a great day, everyone.